What's going on, Piccolos and Let's, Kings and Queens, friends and fiends? It's time for the Twizted Most Tasteless Review. And that's the technically the first track of this album. And the intro, it's just a bunch of noises. Just somebody shouting Twisted and some chainsaw noises and some other noises and a guy going, ah, ah. So yeah. But then we get into our real first song of the album. And the debut song of Twisted, Secondhand Smoke. Yeah, man. Freaking legendary, awesome classic track. I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall whenever they pitched this and were to ICP or whoever, and they were like, "This is gonna be the first one off the album." There is ones from our I forgot to do the history part of this, so let's go back in time to when before Twizted, there was another group coming up in Detroit in the 90s, besides ICP, called the House of Crazies. And they were made up of Hectic, Mr. Bones, and the ROC. Hectic would go on to be known as Monoxide Child. Mr. Bones would go on to be Jamie Madrox, and the ROC would go on to still be the ROC. And basically, Violent J had heard of House of Crazies, and he wanted to get the ROC onto Psychopathic, or he wanted the ROC to tour with ICP and Violent J's brother-in-law. So I guess Violent J's brother-in-law, because yeah, it was Misery was their brother-in-law, which they had for a short time, but I don't think I'll cover him. Maybe if somebody requests that I'll cover the one Misery album, I'll do it, but if nobody wants it, I'm just gonna skip over it. But anyway, so ROC told him that he's not going without the rest of the House of Crazies. The House of Crazies began to tour with ICP on the Great Malenko tour. But the ROC was having a bunch of issues with ICP and the touring situation. He was not happy about any of it. And basically, the other two guys that would be Twizted were telling him, hey, chill, this is their tour, just be cool. This is a good opportunity for us. But he just was not having it, and he went straight to the House of Crazies manager and got them pulled off the tour. They said if Jamie and Paul did any more touring with ICP at that time, they wouldn't be able to make any money off their merchandise sales or anything like that, so they had to pull out of the tour. Super sad. So anyway, the House of Crazies breaks up, and Jamie and Paul go back to making a new group with their new friend Chris, who would become Blaze Your Dead Homie. It was called Superstars Incorporated. Yeah, Superstars Incorporated. And while they're working on that, Violent J calls them both up because he remembers how cool they were, and He's like, you guys want to come be signed to Psychopathic? But they didn't want Chris at the time, their third guy. But Jamie and Paul basically said, he comes or we don't. So ICP took all three of them on, and they were originally going to be remade into Jamie Madrox, the Monoxide Child, and Blaze, the Butane Magician, he was called at first, which would later be changed and made into Blaze Your Dead Homie with the whole gimmick. We'll get into that when we cover Blaze on his first album and all that. But some of these songs on here, a couple of these songs on here, are made by SSI, Superstars Incorporated, and that was who Twizted was going to be before Twizted. So anyway, Secondhand Smoke, awesome song. We're going to end part 1 here, and we're going to go on to part 2, where I cover the rest of the album. Whoop whoop. Follow for more.